Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Hope you guys are having a nice 5th May 2025. We're doing a special video today. We're doing the first thought and the final thoughts on Blue Eye Samurai. So what I usually do is I see a trailer and I say, hey, this could be good. And I watch the first episode and then I give you my first thoughts. However, we watched a show called Blue Samurai on Netflix, and it was so freaking good that we watched the whole thing. And I gotta say, you gotta watch this series. It is so good. So what is the story of Blue Eye Samurais? The story of Blue Eye Samurai is actually quite simple. It's a girl living in old Japan where race and family were really important. So with Japanese, the father, the mother, the clan from which you hailed was really important. And then you have this kid, and this kid was a half breed. So a father that's a white man and a mother that's I think it's a Japanese woman, right? So it's actually super good because she has blue eyes, and then she's a woman. So it's kind of everything. So for example, right, you would think that because she has blue eyes, she'll get bullied, and she does get bullied. But then you realize that the biggest thing for her is not having blue eyes, it's being a woman, because back then a woman couldn't be samurai, right? And then there's even a better thing. There's an even better thing. There's this character whose whole storyline is becoming a good woman to marry. Becoming a good woman to marry. So technically speaking, the two only female characters of the show are both single lady. One of them is learning how to be the perfect wife, and one of them is living how to become the perfect samurai. The story is it's great. We're talking about honor, and it's so freaking good. Just the story in itself. They learn. She's super strong, first of all. She's super chill, second of all. She's a badass, third of all. But what's most interesting is all characters kind of have this really good scene. So, for example, this first character that we meet is a samurai that is held as one of the greatest samurai. He's the greatest. And because of that, he gets cocky. And because he gets cocky, what happened is he fights the Blue Eye Samurai and loses. So because he loses, his whole life is changed. He's like, oh, I suck, I'm not good enough, I cannot fight. So then he loses the fight. It's like, yo, I want a rematch, right? But then the first time that he meets this Blue Eye Samurai, she's wounded. Like, I cannot rematch you. And then what he says is like, okay, well, I see that you have a quest, and I embrace your quest. I'll do you a deal. I'll help you with your quest, but when you're done with your quest, you're gonna fight me. And the character actually becomes super cool. He becomes super honorable, which is really nice. There's other character who's missing his 2 arms, right? And then you realize that it's kind of the goofy character. It's like the comedic aspect of the show. However, he's super cool because he's missing his arm, but the main character is a woman. Once again, in a time where no woman was samurai, she wasn't a full-fledged Japanese. So therefore, she wasn't pure blood. She was victim of racism, and she looked like she was part of Ditch. They remind me of Tyrion and Jon Snow. Tyrion being blamed because he's an imp, and Jon Snow being blamed because he's a bastard. Both they have great capability. Both they have great capacity, and it's fun because the blue eyes woman, she is a victim of her own revenge, right? So the whole time she's trying to get revenge, and she forgets everything about everything else, but by meeting those 2 characters, they become quite cool. Then what happened is we have this cool storyline with her mom. So her mom, she hit the kid, she hit her, so she wouldn't get in trouble. But then you realize that mom, she becomes addicted to opium, which was also a big problem back then. And that because of that, she sold her only kid. She had this husband, they had an arranged marriage. Because they had an arranged marriage, this guy, who was a old samurai without any honor, he marries her, right? And she has a chance at a better life. So what happened is, and that's a really cool story. That's a really cool story because it shows that they burned the house, they killed her mom. So she vowed to take revenge. And she vowed to take revenge on the father for making her like that. Because she feels responsible, but she doesn't feel responsible. So it's kind of special. She feels responsible for her mom getting killed, and she feels responsible for the situation, but she feels responsible to a certain degree. She knows it's not her fault if she's born like that. She knows she didn't choose to be like that, right? And her mom was raped. I believe she was raped. I'm not sure. So she goes after the father, which is the whole plot, and then the whole storyline is about revenge. Not so much there's a part where she finds her mom, and they live in a happy lifestyle. And her mom is a piece of shit. She's really bad. She's really bad, and she has a drug problem. So she steals from them, and then there's a time where they tell her, "Hey, we're not gonna give you cash for medicine anymore. We're not gonna give you cash. You're addicted." So she's like, "Okay, well, fuck you." So what she does is she sells her own daughter, right? But then it's also implied that the husband could have killed her. The husband could have betrayed her because they gave him a chance to become somebody great again. Now, the greatest thing about it is because she's weak, she wants to work out. There's so many moments like that. I'm gonna take a small example. And this example is gonna show you how cool the show is really. So there's a small moment in the timeline where she is. Sorry, we're playing the tower. She has weight on both legs and both arms to get heavier. And when she takes them off, she's super fast. And then you realize that she has a moment with her husband, and her husband is wielding a nagata, which is a longer katana. And what happened is, he's like, "Yo, that's a better weapon." She's like, "Okay, well, not really." But then you realize that the weight that she has on her arms are not weight. They're part of a pole that she can put together to have a nagata, and that's a real weapon. That's actually super badass. The show is really well made. It's really nice. The narrative is super nice. It is kind of long. It is an 8-hour series, but it's super good, and you're not gonna get bored. And this is my review of Blue Eye Samurai. Love you guys. Take it easy. Have a lovely day, and I'm gonna let you with something extra. Just because I love you guys. Just because I love you guys, I'm gonna give you something extra. Netflix was behind the series, and Netflix was so confident of the series, they put the first episode for free on YouTube. So if you wanted to watch the first episode for free on YouTube, please do so.